Most people believe money is valuable because it exists, that if you have it, you can use it. That possession alone guarantees access. But in modern financial systems, value is not determined by ownership. It is determined by liquidity. Liquidity is not how much money you have. It is how easily that money can move without losing power. And not all money is equally liquid, even when it looks the same on the surface. Two people can hold the same amount of wealth and live in entirely different financial realities. One can act instantly. The other must wait, convert, explain, or sacrifice value to move. This difference is not accidental. It is structural. The economy is built on a quiet ranking system. At the top of this system is money that can move immediately without conditions. Cash equivalents, reserve balances, settlement-ready assets. These forms of value are trusted by the system itself. They do not need justification. They do not need approval. Below that are assets that require transformation, investments that must be sold, accounts that must be verified, funds that are available but not usable yet. These layers look like wealth, but they behave very differently under pressure. Most people live in these lower layers. Their money exists, but only with conditions attached: time, permission, conversion, friction. This hierarchy determines who absorbs shock when systems tighten. When markets become uncertain, liquidity moves upward. Assets that once felt stable suddenly become difficult to sell. Prices fall not because value disappeared, but because access narrowed. The system prioritizes speed over fairness. Those closest to liquid layers are protected. Those further away experience delay, loss, or forced conversion. This is why crises feel uneven. The same event produces vastly different outcomes, depending on position within the hierarchy. Liquidity is power disguised as convenience. Another concept rarely explained is that liquidity can be manufactured. Institutions do this constantly. Through credit lines, collateral arrangements, and internal clearing mechanisms, they turn illiquid assets into usable leverage. What cannot be sold can still be used. Individuals are rarely given this option. Their assets must be converted openly. They must accept market pricing. They must wait for buyers. The system does not forbid leverage. It restricts who can access it quietly. This difference shapes behavior long before a crisis appears. People who live in illiquid layers learn patience. They delay decisions. They avoid risk. They plan conservatively, not because they prefer to, but because movement is costly. Those with liquidity move differently. They are not reacting. They are positioning. Speed allows them to act before outcomes are obvious. Liquidity is not about advantage after events. It is about positioning before them. The system rewards this invisibly. Liquidity hierarchy also explains why certain assets are promoted as stability while behaving unpredictably. Retirement accounts, long-term funds, locked instruments. These structures encourage accumulation but restrict movement. They stabilize the system by reducing volatility. They stabilize behavior by discouraging exits. People feel secure because balances grow, but control diminishes quietly. This trade-off is rarely framed honestly. Another hidden function of liquidity hierarchy is narrative control. When people struggle to access their own value, the explanation is often framed as personal mismanagement, wrong timing, poor planning, emotional decisions. Structural constraints remain unnamed. The hierarchy protects itself by redirecting blame downward. People adapt rather than resist because the system never admits constraint exists. Liquidity also determines whose mistakes are survivable. Institutions can hold illiquid positions longer. They can wait for markets to normalize. Individuals are forced to resolve positions quickly. Loss is not caused by error alone. It is caused by timing under constraint. This is why access to liquidity during stress is more important than total wealth. Those who can wait out instability preserve value. Those who cannot are converted into liquidity for others. The system does not punish risk equally. It redistributes it. Understanding liquidity hierarchy does not grant escape, but it reframes frustration. What feels like personal failure is often positional disadvantage. What feels like poor judgment is frequently restricted movement. The economy does not reward effort alone. It rewards placement. Most people are taught to accumulate. Few are taught to maintain liquidity. Fewer still are taught that liquidity itself is stratified. The invisible economy does not operate on fairness. It operates on flow. Those who control flow shape outcomes without visibility. Liquidity is not a feature of money. It is the rule that decides who moves first when pressure arrives, and the system always moves first.